Hey everybody, welcome to Nevins Mobile Detailing. This is probably going to be our first video. If it is, it's going to be an exterior process and an interior process. So follow along. I hope you guys enjoy, and welcome to the channel. So now you're going to want to grab whatever washer you use, whether it be soap or rinseless. Today we're using rinseless because the sun's out and it's kind of hot. If you're in a controlled environment, you can use any soap and let the dwell time anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes, but we don't have a lot of time, so we will get it done by doing a chemical rinse and drying off immediately. And make sure you're using the right wash medias. Ultra soft tri-tip for like your paint, your small cracks. Bug sponge, specifically meant for cars. Something like a chenille wash mitt that's 30% to 70% Korean microfiber blend. You also want to make sure you have an entirely separate set of tools for your tires. So you want something like a scrub mitt for your tires to get in all the cracks, something harder for the cracks of the tires, a nice sponge for the face of the tire, and then something to get inside the back of the tire. So right now we're working on our wheel buster mix, which is going to be a mixture of brake buster from P&S and an iron remover, which will break down any contaminants on that wheel really easily and have us be able to clean it in less than 2 minutes and rinse it off. It's very important you don't let this dry on the actual rim. It's important iron remover gets rinsed off. If you're just using the brake buster, it's not too big of a deal, but it's important you just don't let chemicals dry. Just get them done as soon as possible. Now today I am teaching a rinseless wash, so if you guys are interested in what I'm teaching you and you want to know more about what I do, please leave a comment and I'll be glad to make another video about a soap wash, a soap rinse soap, or another type of wash, any other interior tricks I know, full extractions. Soon I'm open to polish and correction and ceramic coatings. So we're working our way up in this world, and if you guys are enjoying that, please follow along. It really helps out more than you know. I know the videos are a little bit longer, but I want to go more into depth for people that are trying to learn more about it. Because when I tried to learn, there's a lot to go off on, but not a lot of depth on how to build your build and how to wire it, how to plumb it, how to, what comes in the background, how much extra expenses there are, the insurance you need to get. And I want to dive deeper into that stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, please give us a follow, and please show your support. Thank you very much. So we're first going to start with our tires, and I have a few tools here. These are for your wheel drum. These are for your spokes, your tight areas. This is for your wheel and wheel well. This is for your wheel as well. And this is for your wheel face if it's not dirty. Mine aren't too bad, so I could probably get away with this and just one of these and washing the tire and the actual well. Then we're going to take our chemical, since we're not doing a soap wash. We'll apply chemical directly over the tire. This is just a rinseless wash. Get up in the wheel well. Get up in that drum again. All those cracks. Then you'll want to come over the top with this mixture of iron buster and brake buster. Give it a good foam. It has a tiny bit of soap inside of it, so it gives it the foam. And you're going to want to let this sit for about 30 to 45 seconds. Now, like I said, you have a few different type of wheel cleaners, and you want to grab your wheel well brush and your tire brush. I prefer to use brake buster, but Meguiar's all wheel cleaner works amazing. Give it a couple sprays. You're going to work it into the wheel well, work it over the tire, and that's that. Don't forget parts like this. And on this paint here, on the lower half only, this lower 1/4 inch, use the sponge. So I also have these ones here. This is going to be for more of the smaller cracks and crevices. This is for the outside of the rim here, and also the bigger sides in the cracks here. This will be used for these smaller crevices here. Make sure you grab your wheel well brush and you're cleaning behind everything, getting in all the cracks and crevices. Kind of work into a triangle behind each of the spokes, and it gets everything. Then rinse your tire off, and that's it. And also, after you get it clean, you'll want to apply some sort of protection or quick beads after we're done doing the entire wash. Now we're moving to an exterior wash process, where we'll go ahead and rinse the entire vehicle and cool it down with the garden hose or pressure washer. And then we will go ahead and go over it with our rinseless solution and clean it panel by panel and dry it panel by panel because of the heat. It's important you have a method to work your car from top to down when you're washing. So you'll do the roof, window, hood, trunk, sides. That's how I like to do it. I'll do the roof, glass, hood, and then kind of work my way from the nose around all the way to the nose again. Depending on heat, sun, where you're at, what you're doing, what you have available. If half of your car's in the sun, you do the half that's in the shade first. And then you flip the car and do the other half. Work with the sun, work with the shade, do what you can. And if it starts flash drying, go slower. Panel by panel, half panel by panel if you have to. I'm going to show you on the door to simplify things. So you'll do a layer of rinseless wash just on the window here to simplify it. And this is how you'll follow the process for the whole car. Layer of rinseless wash. And this is after you've rinsed. You'll immediately grab your wash media, whether that be a sponge or a towel. Sponge lightly dripping side to side. Your crosshatch wash pattern. And then up and down. And every panel, you want to be flipping this and rinsing it. See how it's streaking? You want to rinse it, wring it out, get on it, and immediately dry the panel when you're done. And after you're done drying, it should be a clean surface. Literally rinse, repeat for the entire car, clockwise around the whole thing. When you get to something like the grill, what I like to do is I'll do a rinseless layer and then a layer of all clean on the mirrors and the grill. Let it sit and dwell for 30 seconds, rinse it off. That way you can get the majority amount of bugs, everything off while it's chemically broken down, and you don't want that stuff to dry in the sun. Keep in mind. And when you're doing a rinseless wash, try to keep everything near you. Keep your sprayer, keep your sponge, keep your towel, and you want to try to follow your bucket. So put your bucket in front of you while you wash. So you wash this door, put it at the hood, move toward the hood. Put it at the next door, move toward that door. That way you're constantly following your stuff instead of going back and wasting time. I have an entirely separate screwball mirror, or screwball brush I use specifically for the plastics of the mirrors. And I tend to use this bug sponge for stuff like the headlights and also the lower trims. So that concludes the exterior portion of today's video. Pretty basic rinseless wash that's only going to be on maintenance vehicles and not that dirty. But it works amazing. It came out great and shiny. And this is the step you'd apply an IPA or panel prep and a coating or sealant or wax, whatever the customer's paid for, whatever you're putting on the vehicle, after a paint correction and decontamination, which I will be doing in another video. I'll have the interior portion uploaded shortly, if not with this video. So for the interior, we have a few tools. We'll start off with our brushes. We have a screwball brush, so if the doors or plastics aren't that dirty, we'll come around with this, spray our chemical into here, give it a few rounds, and wipe it off with a towel. If a couple are more stiff and dirty and nasty, we have a stiffer type brush. Keep away from screens and stuff like that. It will damage them and can damage them. This is a softer tri-tip brush, and it's a synthetic brush. It's meant for more screen areas and radio, parts like that. We move in a little further, and we have a few more sponge type brushes. These are for your air vents and whatnot. You can also just get a little pack of them at Walmart. They're like $5 for 30. They come in handy very frequently. And we also have a couple picks in here as well for anything we might need in cracks and crevices. Dive further into the brushes. We have a specific floor mat brush to get any tough dirt out of there if it's really bad and you can't just spray it out. We also have leather specific brushes. That's going to be our stitch brush and our upholstery brush. This is specifically for Alcantara and leather, softer stuff. You dive a little bit further, and we have a specific air vent brush. I don't really like these. I prefer to just use our air tool, which is our Tornador, and then I will come behind it with our Ultra Air Blaster. Really, this works as one. It's a Tornador and a wet tool. You just switch on whatever chemicals in here to clean with. Blast in there real fast, blast out, dry off. Very nice, very quick. That's about most of our makeup for the interior. We have a pet hair brush, if I hadn't mentioned that, and just some interior spray if we, just to top off every now and again to be nice. We always want to just spray something, and that's just after cleaning. That's not including an odor treatment or anything like that. You always just want to leave a fresh interior. So we have a few cleaners as interior options go. One of my personal favorites is P&S's Express Interior Cleaner. It's very easy to use. It's ready to use out the bottle. I usually dilute it 1-to-1, and it lasts a ton of vehicles. It cleans very well. You can see the suds, so it makes it that much simpler. Another one of the great cleaners is Coach Kimmy Polestar. This is a little bit more pricey per se, but it's highly dilutable, so it's really nice. This is about 1-to-10, and it's a great, powerful cleaner. Coach Kimmy Polestar is probably #1 at the moment for me. And you always want to follow along usually with a UV protector. One of the good ones is Coach Kimmy Top Star. So you'd use Coach Kimmy Polestar and directly after use Coach Kimmy Top Star on the entire vehicle on the interior. Another one that's great if it's a maintenance clamp is just interior clean and protect. This tends to just be a all one and done cleaner. If the car's very lightly dusty, this is a perfect cleaner. It's DIY details, interior clean and protect. It does it all in one go. It's very, very simple, very sweet, fast. You have a more concentrated interior cleaners like Green Star and stuff like that, but I tend to stay away from those because you don't usually need that heavy of a cleaner for the interior. Those are mostly exterior products, and you want to always start with the least aggressive method possible. So P&S Express, then work your way to Coach Kimmy, then work your way to something like DIY's All Clean or Coach Kimmy's Green Star at a highly diluted ratio. So we assess the interior condition. It is mildly dusty in here, not terrible. There's not a lot of dirt built up. There's not a lot of gunk built up on the handles here. Come look at the handle. There's not a lot of gunk built up here in these cracks or in these jams. So that lets us know we can use something lighter like the P&S Express or the DIY Interior Clean and Protect. First, you want to throw something up on the interior so it stays cool and it doesn't get too hot on the inside. And then you're going to want to pull out all their personal items and keep a good eye out for stuff like this because a lot of these just come right out. You'll take all these out and you can soak them in a rinseless wash bucket while you just get underneath, and these will come clean when you're done, and you can do them with your floor mats. And our very first step to an interior is going to be taking these out, getting them cleaned and vacuuming. We'll do a quick vacuum and then a blowout. Take out all the trash as well. So after our basic vacuum, when we get all these cracks or crumbs and stuff out, we'll come by with this brush, and this is great for cup holders and hard plastics. This is the brush you want to be using for your air vents, your screens, your buttons, your steering wheel here, soft and nice. You can also use something like your leather brush on the outside here when you're scrubbing with chemical. You just have to wipe off immediately, like I said, in the heat, or it will flash on and be a pain to clean again. So there are a few spots you can spray directly in the interior. Cup holders, glove box, sometimes seats, in some of the holders to the door there. But you never want to spray directly on the dash or the tops of the doors, anywhere there's been an extreme amount of heat building up, or anywhere there's fine cracks or buttons or electronics hiding behind. In any instance, you want to be spraying into the tool and then using the tool to clean and then buffing off afterwards. The reason I say you don't want to spray into the cracks, there's been plenty of stories I've heard of buttons not working, things going wrong, XYZ. So until you know what you're doing and know what buttons do what and where you can spray without it hurting, spray to your tool and use your tool to clean and buff off immediately after, especially with high heat or high wind. Being mobile without any cover is a difficult situation to work in. That being said, if you are in a controlled environment, you can be a little more willy-nilly with what you do, but you still need to be very careful on what chemicals go where and what you're doing with what tools. Some tools can damage areas of the car that other tools won't. Some tools are harder for harder plastics. And these are all things you figure out the further you go down the road. So in spots like this, you're going to, like the cup holder specifically, in the dash area kind of here, you're going to want to use Coach Kimmy's Polestar. P&S Expresses it's strong enough to get it, but you're going to be scrubbing for a lot longer. You might as well just step up to a little more powerful of a cleaner, scrub it a little bit and wipe it out. It's also important what towels you choose. I specifically like to get this roll-off at Walmart for 15 bucks. These are the cheap towels. These are for door jams and wiping tire shine off your tires after you're done. One and done. Throw them away. That's it. Next, you're going to want to get a workhorse towel. These I also get from Walmart, packs of 25. or packs of 50. They're for 25 bucks. They're like 300 GSM, edgeless. You'll want to use the yellow as your workhorse towel and a blue as your follow-up towel to take off any streaks or excess dirt. We use color coding so we don't get confused and reuse towels. And another thing is we also want to work in fours. We keep the towel folded in fours, so you have 1 side, 2 side, 3 sides, 4 sides, 5, 6, 7, and 8 sides to work with in one towel. So there's no reason to be using just one face of the towel and getting another one. You only want to get another towel when you notice streaking or it's too saturated and gross. If you do have to clean the headliner, something you can do is take your chemical and spray it directly into the towel, dab it on there, then take your dry towel and dab it out of there. Make sure you're using a softer or a brand new towel to be cleaning the glasses, such as the screen or the interior dash. And this is where stuff kind of gets confusing. You have all these buttons, all these vents, everything at once. Biggest thing you can do is just work in a very meticulous way, top down, steering wheel, back of cluster. Don't forget these cracks back here and under here. Work your way from the dash to the vents, center console, knock all this out, then work your way to the door panels. Now, after you're done working that's going to take the most amount of time out of your detail. Once you get it into a rhythm and into a system, you'll knock it out in no time. You also want to keep a good eye out for these levers here, the blinkers and the turn signals, and the drive shaft or the gear stick, because always make sure that when you don't start the car, just move the gear shift, clean in between there, and also crack the windows and clean the tops of the cracks. Everybody forgets that. You'll then move to your door panels. From here, if it's super sunny and hot like this, it's going to flash so fast. What you're going to want to do is spray the product onto your towel and then rub it down. And then wipe off immediately with another towel. It's so hot, it will just immediately burn and flash off. If it sits too long, it will chemically burn the interior or exterior. Now, when it comes to door speakers, you want to be very careful because, of course, back there is a foam pad and all that nice electrical equipment. Now, what I like to do is I will take one of those smaller brushes, give it a few swivels, and then take a blowgun from far back, blow it out with a towel up against it. That way it soaks into the towel and doesn't hurt the speaker. Now, usually I tend to attack the door jambs right after an exterior wash because it'll be dripping water. And I always start my details with an exterior wash. Being in such a high heat environment, it's important that we get it done as early as possible so no water spotting or etching gets caused or any damage from that sun. I will take those rags, the throwaway one and dones, and then I will take the Ultra Air Blaster and blast in all of this, wipe out every single crack and crevice of the door jamb, and then come back over it, flip the towel, and buff it all off. If I do not have my Ultra Air Blaster, I will just take my rag, spray it, and wipe down, buff off. So for perforated leather seats, what you're going to want to do, pull the cracks back and use your Tornador and blow out the cracks. Now, if you do not have a Tornador, what you can also do is use your vacuum on reverse and blow out all the cracks that way. Then take your leather stitching brush, get in there, and all that noise with this. Rub with brush, wipe off after with the interior towel. Usually I will grab a separate towel for my seats. So for the interior, I usually use one workhorse towel for all 4 doors, one buffing towel, one workhorse towel for all seats, and one buffing towel, and then one workhorse towel for all interior plastics and one buffing towel. That's a total of 3 dirty towels and 3 buffing towels. Usually. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5, but usually you can get away with 2 or 3. So I went ahead and had the coworker wipe everything up in here. After everything's done, from top down to the interior, got glass wiped, steering wheel, column, cluster, move on to the doors, get those seats done, and then you'll move on to a final vacuum and final touch-up. We'll get all this stuff here, this trim here, the gas pedals, the sidewall, door jambs, and work our way back. Now, if you have the investment funds, I highly recommend investing in an Ultra Air Blaster from the rag company and an air compressor. It will make your seams, your door jambs, your doors, everything that much faster. You can get in all the cracks and crevices, blow out. It is a lifesaver. Not for every job, but for most jobs. I like to put a steering wheel wrap and a floor mat that says, "Thank you, we appreciate your business," after we're done with the car, and as well as a smelly good interior towel wrapped up with a few business cards. So anyone that they come across or anyone that they can give interest to of the business, it makes it easier on them. But I appreciate all the support so far. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, or if there's anything else you'd like to see, please leave a comment, and I will see you next time. Thank you.